Hello, Xigua video. Xigua translates to watermelon in Chinese, and this is the ByteDance equivalent of YouTube for the China market. And it's accessible anywhere in the world. They've set up a channel mirroring Mr. Tick's content for the Chinese market, subtitled in Chinese. You can access it from bit.ly/SWT China, SmartWatch Ticks China. Check it out. It's this material in China, and they got a whole lot more. It's here! Greetings and welcome to SmartWatch Ticks. We're a YouTube channel on the web at smartwatchticks.com. The Samsung Galaxy Watch 4 has arrived. I know you guys have been looking at all kinds of reviews on it, and we're going to dive into it here too and show you a few things you don't see anywhere else. There's actually two versions of this, the Galaxy Watch 4 we're reviewing, and then a special classic, which is identical. Look at the specs, identical, except for the rotating bezel and this stuff here. The band is different, but you got the same memory, the same battery, the same runtime, the same charging. Everything else is basically the same between the two. So reviewing one, we'll basically be reviewing both of them. Now, I got some special links for you that you can go over and pick this puppy up directly from Amazon. bit.ly by Galaxy Watch 4 will take you right to the ordering page, or go to bit.ly/Samsung wearables for an overview of all of them and some special deals that are there. This little page here, when you blow it up, looks like this. Don't you love my high-end graphics? I do. So easy. Here's the description. It's $279.99. We're looking for giving you a discount if we possibly can, so use our link to click through and see if we've got a discount set up for you. There's information here I'll show you a little bit bigger later, and you can actually pick this thing up with a charging dock. This is the dock here, and we've got that one. That's how it came with the watch and the dock, so we'll give you a quick look at that one as well. You ready to start? Now, this may be one of the fastest unboxings we've ever done. Look at that. You open it up. You've got the watch and nothing else. Set that aside. You got this little box and nothing else. Open the little box. You got two things in here. One is a quick start guide. The other is the charging wire. It's inside of here, and it's a simple wireless charging dock. You set it on with a cover. It'll just hover on top of there. This will plug into your standard USB. Quick start, right in the box. For both of the watches, looks like this. The Classic is included as well. If you need support, here you go. Some more information. Get to know your device. You've got a power button, a back button. Here's the Classic. Here's how you get the wearer, downloading the Galaxy Wearable app. We'll have you a link in the show notes that you can get it as well. And then the rest of this stuff is legalese. Yeah. So there's not much to it. You actually just have to start in and open up the watch and install the app and get going, which is what we're going to do right now. Here you go. Isn't it beautiful? Really nice, bright, excellent screen. You've got all the different controls available to you, and now I'm so used to swiping like this, but remember, you can use the little equivalent of the gear here, if you get your finger just right, to slide through all of these things. You've got all of these tiles. We'll be talking about these individually as we walk through it. And again, this is exactly the same as the Classic version, which has the mechanical gear on it. Honestly, for waterproofness and just overall longevity, I would prefer not having a mechanical gear to worry about. And over time, that could be more of an issue than working with this one. And if you, like me, are more or less used to just scrolling with your finger, then, you really won't use it all that often. Okay, let's get started again. We've got the watch, and then you have to pair this watch to a phone. Now, if you are using a Samsung phone, you're fine. You just pair the thing, and it's going to work great. If instead you're using an iPhone, wow, really not going to work as well for you. Apple is a closed ecosystem. The iPhone and the Apple Watch go together. The Galaxy Watches and the Samsung phones go together. And if you're like me and you're in an Android watch, but it's not Samsung, this is a OnePlus, come back here, you're going to get into a different kind of an ecosystem problem. First of all, you need the Galaxy Wearable app. But in addition to that, you need a plug-in depending on what watch you've got. And we're way down here with the Watch4 plug-in. You also need the Samsung Health app. And all of these, you need to set up accounts and go through a whole bunch of stuff. Now, I've done that before. We've done many, many reviews on Galaxy Watches. So I'm going to invite you to head over to this link, bit.ly, Galaxy Watch Videos, bit.ly, Galaxy Watch Videos, all small letters, or just come into smartwatchtics.com and look in the playlist, and you can dive into a variety of all kinds of things, watch faces and watch setup and everything related to Samsung watches. Go over there and learn how to get this all set up. I'm going to take us to the next level because this is more about how this watch works. So let's dive into this initial Galaxy Wearable app. From the Google Play Store, having it all set up, you can just go straight in. I've got it going right now. It's tethered. Everything's ready. That's the watch face that's on it right now. And pointing out quickly, this is really limited. It's kind of a navigation app, and that's it. You can go in and take a look at your installed watch faces, the most recent ones first, what you actually have living on the watch itself. You have then a selection that you can download from classic faces like these to graphical faces. None of these are on the watch right now, but they're really easy to just hit that download button and they'll take them over there. Informative. Not a lot going on here in watch faces. Again, I've got a whole video on watch faces and even a workshop on how you can design faces for Galaxy watches or any of the Wear OS ones. Apps now is a place where you have just basic control of the settings and info on each of the apps. Not really the app store to install them. You can reorder them, and as you'll find on the watch, when you swipe up, they look like this. And they scroll like this. It's not the Apple thing where you move your finger around and you squeeze them or twirl a knob and make them bigger or smaller. It's a scrolling thing. But you can set the order of them in any which way you want to right from here. So for example, I like Google Pay. I've got that set up. I can pop it up here, put it on the top. Samsung Health, I'm going to use more than a phone, I think. And so you see the order and the way they move around. If I want the, Bixby. Bixby, I don't know if you guys have used Bixby. Of course, it's not nearly like the Google Voice and all of the capabilities, but it gets the job done. Anyway, there you go. I've reordered those, and now, wow, it hasn't taken. I have to hit save on here, and now it's shifted around. Okay, and then there's Google Pay and so forth. So pretty easy to rearrange the apps, but you do it on the phone. Now, a few other things. Tiles, that's these cards that we have. We have all of them in here. You can change the order of them, and you can add these other ones that are not in there by simply hitting the plus key. An alarm, calendars, contacts, health summary if you want. Together, if you're going to do competition, drinking water, women's health, if you're registered and using this for period tracking. It says weather, but it's already in there. World clock, all of those are options as well. So you can play with different tab combinations. And then quick panel is what they call this drop-down area. You can reorder the way they appear or add things. It's almost all there. Touch sensitivity is the only one left. I can bring it up. And I guess it pops in onto the next one here. And of course, these are touch things. You touch them on and off or gain access through the actual watch itself. We just saved that. Now when I swipe up from here, I've got that last page with the touch sensitivity on there as well. All right, are you ready to go through all of these? Let me give you some summary information first for those who don't want to go into all of the detail. I told you about Apple Watch. Stick with the Apple Watch if you're in an Apple environment with an iPhone. Samsung, Galaxy Watch with a Samsung phone, great. In the middle, Samsung Galaxy Watch with an Android phone that's not Samsung, you have some problems. So much so that I'm actually sending this one back. I'm not on a Galaxy or a Samsung phone, and I don't plan to be. And one of the most valuable things that I saw about this one, the ability to do the ECG capability, that you can actually take an ECG. Turns out, when you learn more, that you cannot do it unless you're on a Samsung Health monitor on your phone. And your phone has to be a Samsung phone. So, big drawback in the new advanced health features of this that make it only compatible with a Samsung phone. If you want ECG, I got lots of other options as well. Go to smartwatchtix.com and look for ECG plus PPG watches in the playlists, and you'll come up with all kinds of devices. In fact, there's an address called GoWellU, WELLUE, GoWellU.com. If you're into ECGs, head over there. Amazing technology that really works, is really accurate. Wow, and spot on stuff. But an ECG on a watch, actually, watching some of the videos on the web of people who do have Samsung phones and have used this feature, it's pretty lame compared to many of the other much less expensive devices and what they can generate in terms of artificial intelligence reading of the results of an ECG chart and present you with that for reference only, but it's available. So bottom line on this one, my assessment is it's a nice watch, but it's not for you if you're on an Apple or a phone that's not a Samsung phone. Now with that said, let's walk through everything. We'll come back to the app in a minute because we have a whole section on watch settings to go through, but from the watch, when you pull down, this is the bedtime mode. When you go here, it dims it down, and when the watch times out, it's going to basically be black, and it won't light up when you roll over or touch it or anything. I don't know if you can read it, but you have the option to turn it off as well. It'll stay on until you turn it off. So if I come back to the watch face, it lights up, but when it goes off now, it's going to stay off, and the twist your wrist won't work. One warning for you for that particular mode, when you're in it, you have to turn it off if you're going to tether this to your phone later to transfer over all of the data, especially last night's sleep information. It's just not going to go properly until you turn it off. This is your on-off thing, and of course, this is for your overall settings. Now we've got watch settings, and we've got settings on here. You can see we have connections, notifications. A lot of things are parallel on both. But some things are separate that you have to manage either on the phone or on the watch. You've got some advanced features, batteries, apps, general. These are just the main categories. I don't know how deep we'll get into it today, but here it all is. You got software updates. You want to check that. Make sure that you are updated to the latest version before you do anything. That's true of all watches. That's the settings, and this is, of course, your always on display. So when the watch turns off, it doesn't go black. It goes into an ambient background mode. And in the Wear OS environment, which this is using partially that portion for the watch faces, you can design a completely different watch ambient mode screen like that one, that when you actually wake it up will go back to your standard face. So lots of capability there, and that's where you turn that on and on and on and on. So I mean, it's hours of stuff we could cover on all of the different settings. And that thing, we can turn on vibrate, you can mute the watch, or you can have it use the sound, so it's capable for that. And of course, that's your flashlight. If I touch it, there we go. And it's nice and bright. Touch the screen to change the brightness. And you can also use the bezel to change the brightness. Sweet. They're super bright. It's washing out the watch completely. And then we can bail out of that. So that's your first page of different options. Let's take a look at this and come back over there. On notifications, I'm just going to scroll down here so you can see. You can turn on all of these different options, including Google stuff, right? This is a Samsung environment, and it's working kind of well with Google environment as well. And notice Fitbit, major competitor, is on here along with Google. Now, it may be because I have these things installed in this phone that they're just automatically showing up as options that you can turn on. But the fact that Samsung is allowing all of this in terms of notifications to be pushed is great news. So you've got all of that in notifications. Sound and vibration, pretty basic. We just did that with the little touch thing. You can change your volumes, system vibration and sounds. And then it always has a look for something else. If what you want isn't in here and you think it should be, well, touch down there and you can head over there. And then display. Here was our overall brightness. You can set auto brightness, always on. To twist your wrist or raise it to see the time. Touch screen to wake is on as well. So theoretically, if it's off, I could touch it. Well, all right. It went on to you got to be in the right mode. But yeah, you could touch the screen to wake it. If you want to turn always on display off and not have to twist your wrist, you're sitting in a Zoom meeting and you don't want to look like you're looking at your watch, you could just go under the table and touch the screen and light it up and be incognito. It's that nice bridge between always on and having to take an action that could be seen by others, like you're bored. Show media controls, your screen timeout is changeable. All of those things are there. Just giving you a hint of what they are. Now, advanced features. You have SOS on this one as well. You can set that whole thing up. Your double press will do whatever you want it to do on the buttons on the side, and press and hold. You can change those. The defaults are these. Your back, and that's on your home key. Your back key, you can selectively change the short press, but not the double press or the long press, I guess. Answer calls, dismiss alarms, all these things are here too in the advanced features. Battery. Here we go. It's pretty much full. I can go into power savings mode and it'll tell you your overall usage. A lot like an Android phone would, but we're looking at the watch. So continuing on from here, our second screen, this is a do not disturb mode. Different than that bedtime mode. You can turn that on and off. This is your overall brightness and it twirls. You can lower it way down there. See how dim it can get. And of course, for outdoors, you can make it super bright. You didn't even notice there was a pattern back there, did you? For the review, I'm running it fairly low to get so it doesn't wash out, but you can pretty much see what's going on. Here's our power savings mode that we're going into. More details on that available later, not in this video. This is the theater mode, which is a whole different thing, and you set the duration. So if you're going to be watching a movie or in some environment where you don't want disturbed from your watch at all, you can set this for up to 4 hours. And as soon as you touch it, you set it for turn on now. And I could turn it off here, or I could turn it off from that button as well right there. That's your Wi-Fi. This is your notification to drink water. Press and hold home for 2 seconds will turn off the water. Oh, sorry, not to drink water, to lock the screen. So it lets you know how to bail out of it because the screen is totally locked. You can't do anything. If you're going to be in a swimming environment or whatever, you need to lock the screen. Otherwise, it might flip around and go crazy. So hold it for 1, 2, boom, and it's off. Hear that? Cool, huh? It's ejecting water. Remember when Apple made such a big deal out of their watch, how it would burp water out? Well, yeah, inside the speaker you can do that. You can shake the water out. Now we're into the always on ambient time, and I should be able to touch it to wake it up. You're learning a lot, aren't you? Okay, so that was all about the water drop there. And it's not hydration, it's about clearing the watch and locking the screen. Airplane mode, Bluetooth mode for tethering to earbuds. This is your find your phone, pretty self-explanatory. Location information, Google Maps works great on the watch. And I just went into my ambient mode again, and it goes back to the first page. This is your volume control. So, and there's the little rotating wheel again. So you can go into any of them and you can twirl it to set it the way you want to quickly. So you have, are you still shaking? All right. There, I got the water out. Did I get the water out? I hope so. Okay. Anyway, you got lots of different ways of controlling the sound. NFC, if you're using the Pay feature. I had this originally set up for Google Pay, and Samsung pretty much brute forced me to switch to Samsung Pay. I don't know how or why, but at one point it said, you are switching from Google Pay to Samsung Pay. So, okay, I'll go with it for the game. And this is changing your touch sensitivity. I haven't really played with that, but it's available in here. And now you've seen every single one of them. Those are all of the different ones that you can install on the watch. We're back over here now. We talked about battery. We're into managing content. Yeah, I know, it's rhythmic breathing. After a while, I get like really lightheaded. You can add tracks, auto sync. You can add images and auto sync. So if you're doing things with your Samsung phone and you're taking pictures and adding music and whatnot, you should be able to sync it. Can you do it with a standard Android phone? I don't know. I haven't really tried it. Can you do it with an iPhone? I don't know. But the switches are there. Again, your best bet is to stay in the ecosystem that you're comfortable with. So having a Samsung phone is going to really work best for you. General. Touch the bezel. This is where you can turn it on or off. If you turn it off, you're back to just swiping and double tapping and things, and you're not playing with the twirly thing. If you happen to be somebody who sometimes runs into things and you end up making that thing go around and you don't really want it to, you might just shut it off. It's actually using a little bit of power to constantly sense on whether or not you're touching it. So just like a pedometer counting your steps, if you don't need it, you may want to turn it off. Your preferred engine, text-to-speech engine. If you're comfortable and have used Google, if you've got that all set up, look, you can switch. Nice that they are at least allowing you to have freedom of choice. Your speech rate can change. You can use a Samsung keyboard, or you can probably install other keyboards, and these are things that you can adjust in the keyboard setting. Quick responses. This is the things that you can reply if you're on the road driving or whatever. When you get a text message in, you can pick from this list or change them as your custom responses. You can reset it and so forth. And that's general. Accessibility. Talkback is going to speak to you. It's really meant for people who have difficulty seeing the screen, but hey, you may want to try it for a while to get used to the things that it tells you. You can visually enhance this thing with magnification. This is that triple tap zoom that we've seen on Android a lot. You can turn that on. You can drag it with 2 fingers to pan. You want to try it? Let's see what happens. Here we are. Triple tap. Pan around. So if you're into some text and you want to see that 291 that you can't see because it's just too darn small for you, turning that on is a great feature. I use it all the time if I've got articles that I'm trying to read, but the fact that you just hold it and you can scroll is great. But I'm not going to leave it on now because sometimes you accidentally hit it. Visibility, hearing enhancements. This is where you can mute sounds and go into mono audio, and overall advanced settings is for vibration. 2-finger triple tap. Dot, dot, dot. Wow, got to hit that just right. Anyway, there you go for accessibility. Accounts and backup, that's basic. You know, it's going to, where you set up your accounts. Watch software update will let you know if you have an update to the watch. It's going to go out and check for your updates, and it'll let you know to push the update to the watch if necessary. Says we're up to date. This is the latest update. What's new is basically shown here, and for more information you can go to this document and you can figure out if exactly what's done there. And About Watch will tell you the information related to your particular watch down to your serial number and all of those things. So that is the watch settings. Find your watch, pretty simple. You just say set, and it's vibrating, ringing, and lighting up. You hear it? Now you have a sense for the volume on this. Okay. You can set security on the watch. I do have a passcode on there pattern because I'm using the payment, and you have to do that. And then you got tips and a user's manual as well. And that is the Galaxy wearable app. That's basic, but it complements the watch and it helps you configure it and set things up. Oh, I'm sorry. It looks like some of you are pretty sad you don't have a Samsung phone, and now you're thinking, I can't get this watch. Well, yeah, you get everything if you have a Samsung phone, but you get quite a bit if you don't, and we're going to go through that right now, just in case you do want to get it. I'll let you know, yes, when you use this link, buy Galaxy Watch 4, or this one down here, Samsung Wearables, that ties into an affiliate account I have with Amazon, and I do get credit and a little bit of money from your purchase. But I want to be clear, I'm not going to try to tell you guys to go buy this thing if it's not right for you. So there's a balance here. Appreciate you using the links if you do want this watch. However, you might not. And I've got some alternatives for you for those things that you might not be able to get access to. That fine print there, I blew it up for you. So let's take a look at these bullet points and just discuss them quickly. Crush your wellness goals with body readings right on your wrist. Yeah, that's a good one for the way it handles overall wellness. We'll get into the health app. It's pretty robust. If you want to have guided videos and things, way better than Fitbit that's charging you a fee after 6 months just to get to what I consider pretty lame videos. I've been with it for that time, and I did not renew the subscription. So I let go of all of those precious videos because they... Anyway, the ones that are here on the Samsung are way better, and I don't see there's a fee associated with them. So once you buy into the ecosystem and you got yourself the watch, no matter which Android phone you're using, you can get to the videos. You also can do things like body composition, which is embarrassing if you're overweight, but nonetheless important to show you how your fat is distributed and water weight and bone density weight or whatever. You'll see that too. So yeah, this is a good one, and it should work on any phone. Better sleep stats. This is talking about going to bed and it's sleeping, tracking you, and monitoring your blood oxygen levels continuously. Yes and no. This is okay data that it's providing you, but I've compared it with other things like the Oura Ring. If you really want blood oxygen info, I've got another playlist for you on sleep apnea. SmartWatchTix.com, go to playlists and look for watches and bands that do sleep apnea. The way they handle blood oxygen is monitoring you all the time, and if your blood oxygen drops down too low, you may be holding your breath while you're asleep, and that could mean you're having a sleep apnea event, and it'll actually trigger the watch or band to vibrate and wake you up out of that so you can take a breath. And that's better for you in the long run to make sure you're breathing properly. You're not starving your brain even for a few moments of oxygen, which could affect the health of your brain long term. This doesn't give you much data at all. When you wake up, you get a range. Says, yeah, your blood oxygen was between 90 and 97. Okay, that's great. And you get kind of a chart, but you can't touch on. Anyway, you'll see all that. It's not fully implemented. I'm not proud of this one on the Samsung. I expected a whole lot more for the price we're paying. Be smart about your health. This is accurate ECG monitoring, keeping an eye on possible AFib, a common form of irregular heart rhythm. They're very clear to say they do not look for heart attacks, and it is for reference only. All of the devices I review are for reference only. You can share your personalized reading with your doctor, but it's a really tiny little ECG wave of less than 30 seconds. Doctors like at least a minute or more, but you do get something. Like I said, I've got a whole bunch ECG playlist for you that do incredible things with ECG readings. But notice this, on your compatible Galaxy phone. So the ECG only works on the Galaxy, not the iPhone, not the LG, not the OnePlus, not any other phone. So you can completely cross out ECG capabilities at all if you don't have a Galaxy phone. Have I sold you yet? You want to buy one? Okay, make every workout count, get the most out of the exercises. It recognizes popular activities. If you've been walking, running, whatever you're doing for 3 minutes, it'll supposedly trip in, and it did for me, and I had to push a button to say track this event. But I had the watch on and I was walking and it tracked it. You can stay motivated with live coaching sessions via your smartphone. And if you got a Samsung full ecosystem with a Samsung TV, oh my gosh, you get all of that stuff on your TV with your watch. Oh, it's really, really something. So if you really are committed to Samsung, get this watch. You're going to have a great time with it. We'll talk in a little about whether you should upgrade if you already have one, which you probably do. Go the extra mile, improve with your VO2 max readings, assessing your oxygen level. All I can say is it's got it. That's great. I don't know much about it, and I can't give you an estimate on that, nor can I tell you if it'll work on other than a Samsung phone. But I presume you need the phone as well. Do more with the extension of your phone, talk, stream, text. That's standard. That's, a Bluetooth tethered watch to your phone, can make and receive phone calls. The volume sounds good in the speaker. I haven't used it for a phone call, but I haven't had a problem with it not being loud enough. So I think you'll be good there. Google on your wrist. This is cool. Look at this. You can tap into all the different Google services and apps. Pay for coffee, which means I could be on Google Pay and not Samsung Pay, even though in the setup process, it pretty much forced me to switch. I'm going to go back and see if I can go back to Google Pay, because I use that on my phone as well, which isn't Samsung, of course, so therefore I can't do Samsung Pay from my phone. Craziness. But Google you can use everywhere. Get directions. There's your Google Maps. Use Google Assistant or Bixby. I haven't seen anywhere where it said I can switch to Google Assistant, but I plan to. Well, I would if I was going to keep it. Google Assistant is so much superior. Bixby is really, really limited, but it does do some basic things that you can see when you go into it. And of course, you can stream YouTube music, Spotify, all kinds of stuff like you normally can on any of these high-end watches. And of course, it's going into design and how it looks and how it feels, and you can personalize it with a bunch of different watch faces, which are basic Wear OS watch faces, and you can design your own. Like I said, I got a workshop that you can go through and learn quickly how to make a simple face and put it on there on your watch if you'd like to. And that was the fine print that you see right there. Let's get into the health app now. So this is a relatively recent update, being that it came out on September 7th. It talks about measuring body composition, snoring patterns, sleep patterns, daily activity, bug fixes, and so forth. So this is a work in progress, and my experience so far with some of these features is, it needs more work. It's not ready for prime time yet, but it's getting there. Lot of information. You can simply go to the Samsung Health app and download this if you want to read it in detail, but it's available. And we open it up, and you get into this opening page. I've got some data on it. It just updated. It's tethered. We're connected. Here's my exercises, daily activity, step count, sleep, heart rate, stress, blood oxygen, and body composition. Going to go through all of those. You want to go get a drink of water? Your watch is telling you you should hydrate. Okay, let's start at the top. These are the different exercises, and you can select which ones appear there, and you can activate them right from the phone if you'd like to as well. When you view the history, you get into the recording activities that you've done over time. Now, some of mine go way, way back to 2019 even, because it's everything I've done with every Samsung watch I've had. And I've had some from the Galaxy Gear S3 all the way up through the Active series and whatnot. But this is a walking one. Now, this is what I'm talking about. This showed up the first time I went into this. This workout was switched to manual mode after being detected automatically. So just wearing the watch, it'll sense after 3 minutes, and it'll catch you for those 3 minutes if you've been doing an activity and switch over there. Now, when you get into the summary, you get the Google map of the route, you get heart rate versus speed, heart rate over here, speed over there, some summary information. And the heart zone information down at the bottom of which zones you were in during that activity. You didn't have to do a thing, really, other than on the watch I had to acknowledge, yes, switch it on. The workout complete details are here as well, and this event was for walking. Now, here's one for cycling. Look at the complex map that you get now. In addition to speed and heart rate, you also have elevation. You get your averages, you get that kind of information, you get your heart rate zone stuff, and you can get a split summary on it as well. And then there's the total summary of all of the details. So as far as fitness goes, you've got quite a bit of information here. And again, that's under all exercises, and we got here from the view history on the exercise bar, which is right under the moving add box up at the top. Now, daily activity takes you into whichever day you'd like to from the top, gives you your little heart with completion circles around it, your basic information, a tiny little chart when you're not walking very much like Uncle here, and of course the basic stuff. You also get this related content, which are suggestions that some videos you may want to bring up and play with. You get that also in the health in a different tab at the bottom, but it's just encouraging you. If you want to do more daily activity, there's a way, and that's the way. Then you get into the step count specific, and you can, of course, go by day and come back here where I had more steps. Nice, huh? All steps. So a different way of stratifying the data. And then you get now into some other esoteric stuff. Let's talk about sleep. 8 hours and 40 minutes. Awesome. Nice. Good sleep last night. Come down here and it's kind of all botched up. I don't understand this one. Turns out when I sync this, and this is where I mentioned before on the watch, if you're in this bedtime mode, you want to turn it off before you start syncing your data, because I tried syncing it with it on, and this is what ended up happening. It just gave me the basic time, and none of the other stuff was listed. But check it out. If I go down here even further, it said there were overlapping records. I did it again, and now I got the sleep score from that night. I can't do anything here with it, but look, I got an overall score of 51, and it says learn more about that. Tap into that, and I get me and men my age are shown here, and the higher the number, the better. So last night's sleep was better than most men my age get. And look, it says where I fall between not enough, good, and excessive in both sleep time, sleep cycles, movement and awakenings, almost at the edge of too much, physical recovery, and mental recovery. So nice that you get an overall assessment in these different categories each and every night of what your sleep information was like. The actual sleep time, 6 hours, 6 minutes, they came up with from the time overall in bed. You got the stages, including REM sleep, and now we get into the blood oxygen and snoring. This is you got to go through a lot to set this up on the watch. You've got to activate certain features and acknowledge that it's going to drain your battery more. You really need to work with it for the snoring. Here's my blood oxygen, and this is what I was telling you guys. I got a lot of better watches, cheaper watches that you can get into that not only can give you your nighttime blood oxygen, but can even find the lowest points if you drop below a certain level and vibrate your watch to wake you up out of a sleep apnea event. And they're like $50. So definitely go over to smartwatchtics.com. Look in the playlists for sleep apnea watches, okay? Just watch a couple of them before you decide on this. I know it sounds like I'm talking you out of this, but I'm hoping you will end up with what is best for you overall. If blood oxygen is important to you, this is giving you a very cursory number. It's telling you it's for monitoring only. They're pulling out all the stops on being safe, and it just tells you one thing, that your minimum was 90%. And it warns you that when you're sleeping, you're breathing slower, and so it could be lower than what you would expect it to be. But it's not triggering you, and you can't go in to see the exact time and value of any of them it's a work in progress. Like we said at the beginning, when you see when this app was updated, it's just now coming online. Snoring, I didn't set it up right. I did everything. I turned it on. I kept the phone charged. I put it beside the bed. I did this. I did that. But I didn't go in and log into this thing called Sleep Cycle, which you have to sign in and create an account and do all of that stuff. So it looks like there's a third-party app maybe tied in with the snoring stuff. Well, let me cut through all of this stuff. There's an easier way. Have you heard about the Withings sleep mat? It's a mat you put under your mattress up about your chest level. You plug it in, just leave it plugged in the wall. You set it up with Bluetooth tethering to your Wi-Fi network, and remotely anywhere in the world, you can pull in the information from last night's sleep. And let me show you that quickly. That mat's well under $100. You just leave it there, and you don't even have to touch it. It all does this automatically. Just to show you, here's last night's report. It gives me a sleep score, duration, all this stuff. Here's my sleep heart rate information. Here's breathing disturbances, just like what we saw. Here's the actual snoring without having to do another app or anything. It tells me when it happened. Yes, same. No, yeah, I can touch it and show you 24 minutes from that time frame that it picked up that I was snoring without needing my phone anywhere even on. And it syncs automatically, and it's really, really a sweet app or a sweet device. It's not a wearable like a watch, and since it's doing all of this stuff at night, you don't really need to wear it as a watch to bed. This thing will do it on its own. So if you're getting this for all of the sleep stuff, all of the ECG stuff, think again. Let's continue. Okay, that's all about this whole snoring thing. You can do your own rating of your sleep and, again, related content. And here you can add the sleep record manually if it doesn't sync up or you don't want to do it or you want to adjust it differently. Wow. Now we're up to heart rate. Come in here. You're getting this kind of a window. It's almost like the bell curve with standard deviations, it looks like. My range, 70 to 91, is typical, it looks like, but I did have some lower ones sleeping and some higher ones working out. Here's what the pattern's looking like so far today from midnight. Here's yesterday's with an intermittent or a missing section when I wasn't wearing it, and my daily minimum and maximum. So you get some good information overall on heart rate. And you get the breakdown individually of when and what your heart rate window was in any particular hour when it was measuring it. So you can kind of hone in on what your sleeping heart rate is. And if you tie this with your REM sleep time, look back and forth, you can see if your heart rate is changing when you're dreaming. Yeah, kind of fun. This window concept is something different. Haven't seen that before. That's under heart rate. Stress now is just not really giving me a lot of information. I got breathing exercises and all of these things I could do. It's showing me individualized readings that I took at that particular time last night, and I haven't done anything more. So it's not a continuous monitoring thing, at least not how it's set up. It's an intermittent one-time thing. Overall blood oxygen looks like this. Don't have much more other than there you go, 90 to 99% in that window. And yeah, and there's an individual reading that I did at one point where it gave me the exact heart rate and blood oxygen. But it's way, way less than what we're capable of doing, folks. There are other bands out there that are just phenomenal. All for reference information only, just like this one, not for medical use or diagnosis, but you can get copious information about your blood oxygen at night if you want to. Body composition. Ew. All right, well, here you go. You know, you got your weight. We all got our weight. And you can pretty much calculate your BMI from your weight and other factors. This thing, when you actually do the reading, goes into a lot of detail. It's got average weight over times that I've taken it, average body fat, and average BMI. Here we go. Going to here. This is when I did the full-on test. Gave me my weight and body fat. It also assessed through the measurement my skeletal muscle, fat mass, body water content, and then there's that BMI that we had before just through calculation. And then I get a BMR, which I think is your base metabolism, right? And how many calories per day I would have from that. So when you change the contour of your body fat to skeletal muscle, you can increase your basal metabolistic rate, and you can actually lose weight even faster without having to change dieting or exercising significantly. Be sure you watch the video I did on basic, simple, it's on a Fitbit watch, of encouraging you to get up and walk every hour. Just a few steps every hour, 2 minutes worth of exercise, can affect that bottom line basal metabolistic rate, and it can help improve your goal of achieving weight loss or weight balance, whatever that is. And this watch, of course, can give you a beautiful breakdown of how well you're doing in all of that. But the rubber meets the road is something you can do in combination with a Fitbit. So, hey, Samsung on one arm, Fitbit on the other, you got it made, right? Okay, that's the information here then on body composition, which is something totally new. You can manage these items and reorder them on the page and stuff like that. But all in all, that's the first tab of home. Together is an area where you can challenge other people and team up to have 3 or 4 of you count your steps against 3 or 4 other people and see which team wins, that kind of stuff. And here are all of the different fitness programs. Oh my goodness, you've got all kinds, abs, you name it. They go on, and that's fitness overall programs. Then you've got fitness videos. And then you got this whole Samsung TV option that you can go for. Now, I'm sure some of this stuff is going to cost money. Some of it's going to be free. I don't know the details because they're not really hyping it. Samsung tends to bury some of the stuff like, oh, by the way, the ECG only works on Samsung phones. You know, yeah, that should be right up there. At least Fitbit puts it out there that you get 2 or 3 free things, and all the rest of them you got to pay a monthly subscription to have access. But you've got these different programs, and it's a good starter. And in the first month that you have to use this, if you buy it from the Amazon link, you get 30 days to return it. You could play with a lot of this stuff, see if any of it fits, and then make your own decision on whether or not it'll work for you. Yeah, you got all these things here, Samsung Health, you can sync it, and that's the overall fitness app with all of the different capabilities in here. That was in the fitness programs, their disclaimer. Okay, and yeah. So let's summarize in their own words, since they do it so well. This is the new Samsung Galaxy Watch 4. There's the Classic and the regular. We've reviewed the regular. You can now do body composition with this watch, which is something that hasn't shown up on any other device. You can learn more about that. You've got advanced sleep function capability, blood oxygen during your sleep mode, and theoretically you can have an audio recording of your snoring if you want, and details on that if you get that set up properly under snore detection. And you can go to the Google Store and explore more apps that you can work with as well. That's the overall introduction. You also have access to this whole body composition. We showed you a bit about that. There's a video you can watch on it, and all of these factors are being measured with the watch. And you also have sleep tracking information and how to improve. You've got some videos on that, and again, it's bringing in the blood oxygen portion of that stuff to assess that while you're sleeping, but it's only giving you a range. It's not giving you much more. Now, before I let you go, I wanted to mention we do also have access to a combo where you get the watch and this special wireless charging duo. You can put a phone on it and you can put the watch on it. And I thought I'd show you how it's packaged and do a little unboxing for you. Haven't really used it yet. It looks like this. It simply plugs in to the wall. It even comes with a charger unit itself and the wire to hook it up. Looks like it's the new USB type of connection. And a quick start guide, which doesn't entail a whole lot. It's basically plug it in, set your device on it, and let it go. Now, if you've got the QI charging on another phone besides a Galaxy phone, this should allow you, where am I, to just simply put your phone on it and charge it up. Take the watch and put it on it and charge it up. And at night then, I don't have it plugged in, at night then it would charge everything up on the nightstand while you're there. Of course, you're not wearing it, you won't be getting the sleep and the snoozing and your blood oxygen and whatnot, but hey, you got the wireless charger. So that's a possibility as well, and it is also available through Amazon. This link will take you to the overall area where you can get the watch itself and the charger, or the charger separately. And of course, Samsung Wearables is the global link to get you into all of the current offerings from Samsung. That's it, gang. You've been watching Smartwatch Ticks. We appreciate your thumbs up on these videos and being here. Oh yeah, I got to draw a pattern to unlock it because I got the pay thing going on it, which I'm not going to show you on TV. Anyway, I hope you come back again, and we've got lots of videos on Samsung stuff up there, so definitely hop on over. Last time I'll show you bit.ly/Galaxy Watch videos to learn a whole lot more that we haven't done here on this particular one, but will apply to this watch. And in general, just stop into smartwatchticks.com. We appreciate your subscription. You can hit cancel on that front screen if you don't want to subscribe. You'll still get into our front door, and you can roam around and look at all kinds of things, from sleep apnea watches to, well, you name it. Oh, also, gowellu.com. Hop over there and take a look at what's available too before you dive in and picking up a watch that's professing to have good ECG capability. See what the market really is doing these days. Okay, thanks for being here. We'll see you again soon. You're right, we didn't look at the tiles. Here they are, your step count for the day, your optional activities and your most common ones up front, your body fat and skeletal muscle information from yesterday that you can measure on the fly, last night's sleep time information and weather in whatever city, town, or location you put in with a forecast, ECG, as long as you have a Samsung phone that you can tether with it, you could take your ECG right here, heart rate available, blood oxygen from last night or an instantaneous measurement right now, and your overall stress that you can do, and go into breathing exercises as well. You can add more tiles if you want to, and that is the full look at the Galaxy Watch 4.